There are so many brands that Nigerians love you cannot get in Nigeria. For example, Chanel, you have Hermes, you have Louis Vuitton. You cannot find those in Nigeria, or at least legitimate copies. So they tend to come here because they know if they're going to find a Birkin, it's genuine. And the chances of you getting a fake, because there's so many stories of fakes in Nigeria, people selling them on the secondary market, and they're very, very good copies. It's almost difficult for the naked eye or untrained eye to be able to tell the difference. So they know they're going to come here and get the whole experience. Coming to Chanel, they pop the champagne, they bring out the best bits, the bits they don't show everybody, stuff that is limited edition. They will get all of that, plus more. So you get the service, you get competitive prices, and they love it here.
And in terms of the individuals and the families that have this kind of money, is the money coming from one particular market, one particular business, one particular source? Is it oil? Is it the telecom? What would you say is where in terms of where the money is really coming from?
In terms of where the money is coming from, it's everywhere. So it's telecoms, it's the banking industry. A lot of it is coming from the oil industry, so people involved in upstream, downstream production. You have people now getting involved in the refining of the oil, because it wasn't getting refined in Nigeria, it was getting down outside. So now people are seeing the value in that. And that's where we're seeing a lot of the money coming from. You have a lot of entrepreneurs coming in now and taking advantage of the fact that there are 171 million people in Nigeria. So if you come in with an idea and only get 1% or 2% of the population, you've done good. So it's entrepreneurs, it's telecoms industry, it's banking, it's healthcare, and it's very much the oil and industry as the leader.
And the sons and daughters of these people that have the money, how are they living their lives? Are they following the family business, as it were, or are they carving out careers for themselves?
In terms of what are the children doing, are they following their family or are they doing something different? It depends. You find they come into the UK, go to school or the US, get some experience, which is invaluable. You get Western experience and then you go back into Nigeria, and most of them, I could say 90%, go back into the family business. Very few don't get involved in the family business. They might actually turn around, do something on their own, but somewhere further down the line, they will get involved in the family business. It's very rare for someone never to go back to the family business. It's unheard of. But they will get experience somewhere else, dabble in something else for a period of time, and then go back to the family business. But most send their children to go to school, get experience, with the view of them actually going back to the family business.
And going back to how you work, Ness, in terms of the service that you offer, how does it work? Do you make a call? Do you go and see someone one-to-one? And then what are their expectations from you and your expectations of them as well as a client?
How do I source my clients? Well, what I tend to do is it's twofold. I initially started by looking for clients, and I'd do something for somebody, and then word of mouth got around and somebody would say, oh, she helped me with this, or she did this, or somebody would say, how did you find that? Then they would refer me. And that is how I got a lot of my business. So it was me looking for people, and then people hearing about me and then looking for me, which is what I do a lot of now, where people hear about me from someone, or they have something that somebody likes and they ask where they got it or how they were able to source it. And then they find me and come and ask me to help them with whatever they need.
And what are your big hits at the moment? Is it cars? Is it yachts? Is it houses? What's really flying out the door for you right now?
At the moment, it's houses. As you know, the oil prices come down significantly, and you have a lot of countries where, for example,
can you go back to the top of that and say the demand right now for my clients is for houses?
Okay. The demand right now for my clients is houses. With Nigerians and some of my Angolan clients, we have seen the oil price come down quite significantly, and they are worried about their money. They have a lot of money sloshing around, US dollars, and they're thinking, what am I going to do with my money? What am I going to invest my money in that's going to maintain its value? And that's where you have things like property, especially in the United Kingdom, which is doing very well. 60% of purchases made by Nigerians are between that 15 to 25 million pound mark. And these are properties primarily in the Platinum Triangle, which is Knightsbridge, Belgravia and Mayfair. And what parents are doing, or what my clients are doing, is they're buying 2 or 3 properties in one block or in a road. And the thinking is that one is for the parents and the other one is for the children, and particularly if they have older children, teenagers into early 20s, because they don't want to cramp their style, and the kids, are like, we want our freedom, we're older, we're a little more mature, we want our own space. We don't want a situation where we're living with mom and dad and you're told to go to bed at 1 o'clock in the morning. If we want to party the night away, then we should be allowed to party the night away. So parents are buying 2 or 3 properties in these great areas because the capital growth is fantastic. Your money is in a stable country, politically we're stable, economically, socially, and they know their money's not going anywhere.
So the Platinum Triangle, as you term it, what does the English elite that have always lived there, they've lived there for generations in the Knightsbridge, Belgravia area, how do you feel about Nigerians coming in, or any Africans coming in to their area and buying up prime property?
The local residents, how they feel towards people coming in, the Nigerians coming in and buying the properties, initially they were quite anxious, thinking, who are these people? We don't know them, we don't understand their culture, who they are, what they're about. Where is the money coming from? They're quite skeptical, but it's been going on for a number of years. I mean, over 10 years, we're going 10, 12 years, but more so it's heightened in the last, I would say, 3 years, where people are really buying properties now. And they're learning to embrace them because there's talk about them. The Evening Standard did a huge feature on Nigerians and how much they're spending. And it's not just the ultra high net worth, it's the professionals who will come here and do all their shopping and maybe do it once or twice a year, and that's it. And they'll come and spend maybe 30,000 in one go. So people are learning to accept them, to understand who they are, and to appreciate that what they are doing is good for the economy. And particularly with the credit crunch we had. We had the Russians and so forth, but also the Nigerians featured quite prominently as people who were propping up the retail industry, spending phenomenal amounts of money.
Brilliant. And how are these retailers changing the way they do business? Are they hiring people that understand the culture and where Nigerians or any African people are coming from? Or are they just kind of doing business as they've always been doing business? From your perspective, how do you think the retailers are changing? Whether they're selling yachts, they're selling houses, they're selling luxury items, whatever. How do you think they've changed their perspective?
How the retailers have changed their perspective is that they are learning to appreciate the Nigerians, their culture, their language, and they're actually dedicating staff to looking after just the Nigerians. Staff who understand their culture, how to approach them, and how to deal with them, because Nigerians are different in how they do business to the Chinese or the Russians. And because they're spending so much, you can't afford to ignore them. So you will have stores that now have people who speak Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, you have that. And there are dedicated staff who look after their VIPs and will call them and let them know what's going on, or arrange events for them, or organize for items to be shipped out to them. Whatever it may be, they're at their beck and call. And to the extent where somebody can text someone or call them at any time of day, and that member of staff will take care of that situation for the Nigerian client. And as I said, the stores are now, employing people who speak the language and dedicating people. So it's just making sure that they're hitting them, they're understanding what they like, what their tastes are, what their preferences are, and making sure they have things like that in stock. And when they do, letting the Nigerians know, putting it aside for them. And they come and pick it up whenever they're ready, because they know they're going to come and pick it up. They're not going to haggle on price. They're just going to take it. And chances are they'll take all the colors or the whole range in one go.
Can they shut certain shops down, or could they have a late night shopping trip? And then how would they look after you?
All right, let's go.
I've got Harrods for myself. How do you take care of that?
Have you ever done anything like that?
How would these stores take care of people? What they typically do is, they'll go all out. We have key clients. For example, Harrods, I work very well with Harrods. And their biggest client is a Nigerian family. And his wife comes in, husband comes in, and they come in independently. And they fall all over themselves for them. They always have a private suite. They will come in, have lunch, whether it's in one of the restaurants, but they're always whisked up to the penthouse, and they have everything brought to them. And there's stuff that they can even hold for months on end. So if they aren't in town for 2 or 3 months, Harrods will hold the stuff, because they know when they come in, they will buy it plus more. So that's not an issue. I have situations where I've had Harrods open after hours. So a client will come in, go into the penthouse, have, champagne, and then when the store closes and everybody's left, they will come down and shop throughout the store at their leisure, 2, 3, 4 hours, get everything they want, and then it's discreetly packed away, and then the bill is settled the next day. But that, as you know, comes with a minimum spend. So, some money's transferred into Harrods' account in a little kitty, And that's what's used. And then at the end of the day, when they decide what they want or don't want, then we total everything up and decide whether to refund or get a bit more money. Hermes is another great place. I have a good relationship with them. And what I typically do is let them know I've got a high profile client coming in. And even if it's during working hours, they will shut the store for me, bring the shutters down. So there's total discretion that nobody sees them or knows what's happening. And they shop away to their heart's content. And Hermes is great because you do everything from clothes to accessories to homeware. Whatever they need, they can furnish their entire house here. And they can also talk to their store in Paris, their main store in Faubourg Saint-Honoré, and organize stuff to be brought over for their client. Because Nigerians don't haggle on the price or the items. If they like something and they know it's fantastic, they will take it. That's not even an issue.
So, in terms of almost finished.
Hang in there.
I normally have a tripod. I normally have a tripod.
I have no tripod. So, give me an average client trip for you. Is it arranging the private jet from Lagos here? The super duper car from the airport here? Give me an average, how you would look after one of your super duper clients. What would you need to do to make it? And they say, thank you, I'm going home now. I've had a great time. Thanks to you. What would you need to do to get that handshake?
What would I need to do to get the golden handshake? Well, this is what I do for all my clients, particularly the Nigerians, because they're so good to me. And what I tend to do is, the clients I have own their own jets, but if they don't own a jet, they will charter something, and I'll put them in touch with a couple of people. And sometimes it's very last minute, so I have a great relationship with a couple of companies, and I can organize something within an hour. Get them into London. From when they arrive to when they go back to Lagos, I am with them all the time, and I literally micromanage their entire schedule. So all they have to do is think about themselves. I do everything else for them. So from when they arrive, if they're getting in at 6 or 7 or 8 in the morning, I'm there with the driver, plus a number of other cars. And that's typically for staff and for children. Pick them up, bring them into London, get them settled in the house, and then I typically travel with either the principal or the principal's wife and take them around shopping and organize things for them. But I tend to find out before they arrive what they would like to do and make sure that everything is in place. So all the stores they would like to visit, the properties they would like to view, I will have everything on standby, and I'll have planned out the schedule. So once they're on the ground, then I can talk to them and let them know the finer details, where we're going, when, and maybe fit in a couple of other things, like they might want to see friends or organize an event whilst they're here. All they have to do is just tell me what they want, and I organize everything. I take care of everything. They come, they do their shopping. Once they've shopped, I take care of that. I pack it when we get back into the house, so they never have to worry about packing things into a suitcase. I sort out their whole VAT reclaim at the airport, and all they have to think about is, oh, has the money gone back into my account? I've already organized all of that. So from when they arrive to when they go, I'm with them all the time at their beck and call. And once they're on that private jet and I say goodbye, then I can sleep.
That's brilliant.
He's tired, and I'm getting cold.
You nailed